needs to be one of those action words.
Are we on?
So maybe.
Yes. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody, or good evening, and welcome to the June meeting of Sleep Claydon Parish Council. Without further ado, I'll read out the good practice note. Council meetings are formal meetings held in public, but are not public meetings. Members of the public are welcome to join us, but may only participate during the public participation time. This is an overall time limit of 15 minutes for this segment. Multiple speakers for the same item may wish to select a single speaker or to edit their own contribution to ensure maximum number of speakers can be accommodated. No single speaker may speak longer than 2 minutes. Points raised, but not on this evening's agenda, will not be addressed at this meeting, but will be answered during the next working day or added to a future agenda as appropriate. Please be aware that this meeting may be recorded by any attendee exercising their right to do so. Please ensure that phones are set to silent during the meeting. Thank you very much, and I'll now move swiftly into the agenda, and item 1 is apologies.
Councillor Davies sends in his apologies.
Do we accept his apologies because he's working late? Yeah? All accepted. Declarations of interest. Anybody got a check name on the check run this month or anything? Okay, no declarations of interest. Minutes. To approve and sign the minutes of the meeting held on the 2nd of May 2023. You've all seen the minutes. I need a proposer and a seconder, please. That there are two accurate description.
There wasn't really much there, so I guess I'll propose it.
Okay, Councillor Letizia is proposing it, and I need a seconder. Okay. Councillor Cherry, seconded. Any matters arising from the minutes? No? Okay, I'll sign those minutes in due course. Moving on swiftly to Chairman's comments. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to speak about is the Bounty Commission. The results are now out, and it's good news for the Claydons. Previously you would be aware that they wanted to split the Claydons and put them into 2 different wards. That is not now happening. All the Claydons are staying together with Calvert Green, with Twyford, with Poundon, with Marshgibbon, Grendon Underwood. The new ward will be called Grendon, Underwood and the Claydons. Okay? So, as regards the old ward, we had Luddershaw right out to Brill. That part of the ward is now gone. What's come into the ward is Gorcott and Tindley. Okay? The other thing, when they were splitting the Claydons, they wanted it as 2 one-member wards. We objected again to that, and it's now a 2-member ward. And the reason for our objection on that was that you can't have a councillor working 365 days a year in one ward and then have nobody take over if something happens, i.e. somebody gets ill, sick or whatever. Okay? So that was good news, and they saw sense at the end, which was very kind of them, I should say. The second issue I'm going to raise is an issue in our parish in particular. Well, okay, so it's a very hot topic on social media at the minute, and I just wanted to make you guys aware of what has happened, what has been done, and the actions being taken, okay? So it's Elm Tree Farm. We all know who Elm Tree Farm is. The lady was out walking her dog last Thursday morning. She come across by accident an ecologist from HS2 EKFB, and he told her that he was taking out 7 acres of woodland, which is on a Schedule 16 temporary take. Okay? That was never planned in the hybrid bill to take 7 acres out. However, there was about 2 acres that is coming out, and we all knew about it, to put in an access road. But we didn't know that this extra 5 acres was being taken out and that they were going to put in a pond, which we find very, very strange. So I went up on the Friday and met with Ingrid Hodges, who was very upset, to say the least. And then a meeting was set up for Monday morning with EKFB, the Hodges family and myself. We attended the meeting at 9 o'clock, and the hierarchy at EKFB refused to meet us. So we said, well, if you're not going to meet us, we're not going anywhere, so we're going to stay here. 10:30, they sent somebody, that sent the head designer down. Really nice guy, who made some suggestions but couldn't commit to anything. So the situation is that the 5 acres is not due to come out until the 10th of July. Okay? It's now, my recommendation was that we get the Hodges and Buckinghamshire Council planners, EKFB's design team, myself and other members of Buckinghamshire Council, including the cabinet member for HS2 and East West Rail, and the MP, into a face-to-face meeting which is likely to happen on the 19th of June. And the reason why it's the 19th of June, we had to give them a couple of weeks to come up with their design plans that's going to suit both parties. I've had a meeting today about it. I have a briefing tonight at 9 o'clock, it's the latest I could get it. And I have a meeting at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. So in the background, I want to make it quite clear here that there's some posts on social media suggesting that Buckinghamshire Council are not supporting Elm Tree Farms residents. And that couldn't be further from the truth. I want to make you all aware that I visited twice on behalf of Buckinghamshire Council. I've made my comments well known. I think until we get a resolution, which probably won't happen until the 19th, there's not much we can do. But I want to assure you guys that we are working in the background every day of the week on this to support Elm Tree Farm and what they're going through. And finally, we had a magnificent turnout for the parish assembly, where we had various local groups, dance, cycling, martial art, came and gave a speech about what they've been doing over the last year, and it was very interesting and very well supported. That is my chairman's update for this evening. I will now close this meeting, and I'll open the meeting up to public participation. There's a segment of 15 minutes, as I said in my opening statement, for this. It's now almost 20 to 8, so we probably won't need 15 minutes, but if we do, we do, okay? So I think...
I've had a comment sent in from a member of the public to say thank you very much to all of the parish councillors for the fantastic King's Coronation picnic.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes. Keith, do you want to start off?
I thought we were talking about the planning application.
Okay, so Keith is the owner of number 3, is it? 3 Shinfield Close, okay? It's a little bit confusing because, as you rightly said, Buckinghamshire Council made an error. Okay, we commented on this when it came out first. There's only a change in the site plan. There's no change of the building or anything to do with that, okay? So wouldn't it be fair to assure Keith that we will not be making any comment other than what was made at the previous meeting when we, did we have no objection, or did we?
We approved it.
We supported it. Okay, so is it fair to assume now that we can assure Keith that we're going to support it again tonight?
Can I ask you, is it correct that it was only the issue about the site and you joined access roads?
Yeah.
That was the issue.
That was issued from the council.
Yes.
We provided the plans and, well, basically they sold it to the builders in the first place, with the agreement, because it's private property. The issues of properties has basically a third of the drive.
Yes.
As I've lived there since it was new, it's always been the case, and the council, for some unknown reason, we've had no permission before, they've never picked it up.
Okay, so we have got the right understanding of the issue.
Yeah, so the only thing is, we went back and gave them the deeds and said, well, there you go, I've got a third of that.
Yeah.
People in the middle got a third, and they went down a little bit. People at the far end down the other
Yeah.
side of the.
So therefore, for us, there is no essential change in the application.
There's nothing been done to the buildings whatsoever.
Yeah.
It's just that somebody, in their officious manner, didn't understand how I could drive a car
Yeah.
because it's private property.
So that's fine. We understand it well what the issue is. So no problem. Our comments are already on the website, so there's no change.
So are you happy then that we're not going to change our comments?
I'm very happy.
Good.
Excited.
It wasn't anything that we'd done, was it?
No.
We did, no.
No, it was the parish council, so the county council, and had no
Buckinghamshire
idea.
Council. Yeah.
Buckinghamshire Council had no idea, because they never raised it before, with previous applications.
Somebody was looking at the pictures better than they did do last time.
Yeah.
I couldn't possibly comment.
Okay. So we've resolved.
Yes, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, my name is Hugh Little. I live in 1 Taylor Close. I've been resident since January last year. I'm concerned to ask, given the amount of building that's going on within Steeple Plain, what the capacity of our sewage system is. Is it sufficient to cope with all the building?
No.
Did you say no?
He's the man now as well.
Well, are there any plans to update the sewage system, or
No.
any limit on development that's available or not?
And it wouldn't be the parish council.
It would
That would be a Buckinghamshire Council
No, it's not. It's an infrastructure issue.
It's an infrastructure.
It's an infrastructure
Yeah.
issue. Anglian Water own the assets. What happens with the foul waste for the entire village, it all ends up at North End Road, runs that way to the pump station at the Planks, and then is pumped all the way back the other direction to the treatment works on Gerald Hodgson's land off of North End Road. No, it's not big enough. It's a combined system. The Water Industry Act 1991 prevents the water company themselves from refusing any connection. So no matter what happens, it's not a subject that comes up in building planning terms. But as far as I know, there are no plans to upgrade it or make it bigger or anything.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you that well. So you're saying it doesn't cope, but there's nothing that can be done, or somebody else is responsible?
Well, there's nothing that the parish council can do about it. As I say, the water company owns the asset itself, Anglian Water, and capital investment in a project like making it bigger runs into the millions and millions of pounds per project. I can tell you that Padbury are having almost exactly the same problem. They've got quite a large building development in plan, and no notice is being taken of the fact that the treatment works is too small. That is proven by the fact that 2 years ago, Anglian Water were fined £875,000 by the Environment Agency for the combined sewage discharges into Fadbury Brook. It happens almost weekly.
And where does the £875,000 end up?
It goes into, some of it goes into the Environment Agency's coffers, but mostly it goes into the main tax pot, central government.
So, the granting of building licences for further development is controlled by Buckinghamshire County Council. And are they aware of the situation that we have a sewage system that doesn't cope with the existing one?
Probably, but there are many of them. Virtually every village that I know of locally, their treatment works is too small. Whether or not that comes into any planning discussion at Buckinghamshire Council, I have no idea, but I doubt it, because they would have no influence over it. There is no process for Buckinghamshire County Council to turn down a planning application based on the fact that a foul treatment works is not big enough. There is no mechanism for them to do that.
So it's the water company that needs to spend the money in investment.
The asset belongs to them.
Yeah.
All water companies in all of the UK have something called an AMP period, which is a cycle of when they are going to spend money on various things, and it's a 7-year period. And the next planning AMP period starts in 2025 in April. And what happens is the AMP period starts and they plan for a couple of years and they spend all their money in about the 3rd or 4th year, and then they spend nothing for the next couple of years while they implement it. Now, if it's not within the capital plans for them to spend money on that asset in that time, it's not going to happen until the next AMP period.
Yeah. Well, I think there's been enough publicity, particularly the I newspaper being running a lot of campaign on this, concerning the huge salaries that chief executives are taking, the huge dividends that are being paid out. I'm just wondering if people to withhold
I know this is going on a little bit because we are limited for time, but don't believe everything you read, because not all of the chief executives are on huge money.
I think not all of the
CEOs are on huge money compared to some other organisations. For instance, the vast majority of senior executives in the NHS get paid almost 50% more than anybody in the
we're not discussing the NHS, we're talking...
I'm aware of that. I'm trying to answer your question, but not all of the water companies pay out huge dividends either.
Well,
Thames in particular don't pay any dividends. They make lots and lots of profit, but the way that Thames Water is structured, they have had 8 takeovers in the last 15 years, management buyouts, but they leverage debt against the company in order to buy it out. So all of the profit that Thames makes actually goes back to pay off the interest of the loans that have been taken out to buy the company itself. It goes round and round and round and round.
Yes, well, that in itself, the investors are supposed to put the money up to buy companies. No, that's okay. Can I run to another subject now, please?
If you want to, if you leave your details with Hannah, I'll drop you an email and we can talk about it separately outside of here.
That's
Can I ask you, did you write in the past a letter to Bucks County Council? Because I think I've seen somebody from Tutor Crows who wrote a long letter about the sewage system. It's not the one in Tutor Crows, in Taylor. Do you know anything in Taylor?
I wasn't aware of that. It's something that,
It's the most
I walk past the sewage facility from time to time, and I see the extensive building that's going on.
Yeah.
And up behind the car now, they're putting multi-flats and various other things. I don't see any slowing down. And it's just a natural question to ask.
Okay. Councillor Le Tissier is going to liaise with you on that, okay? What is your other point that you wanted to raise?
The other item I I wanted to raise was speed, fast speed through the village. I'm horrified, really, considering the amount of on-road parking that we have and the number of residents crossing the road, children and all the rest of the speed that some motorists come through the village at, you know. And I stopped one lady yesterday evening on the way back from the office to go down to Taylor Place, and this blue BMW came out and passed me, approached me at a very fast speed, so I just braked and I put my window down and I said, could you please moderate your speed? I said, we've got all this on-road parking, people this, that, and the woman said, well, the problem is I've pulled up because you can't see until you pull up. And I said, well, all the more reason for you to moderate your speed. And I see, you know, the bridge next to Hall Close, people coming in from that way, the speed is coming in. No.
I think
what would be the council's view on this?
Okay. Evo, Councillor Hoyce, has got a group set up, a speed group set up.
Safety.
Road safety, okay?
Yeah.
He's got a meeting on Thursday. What time, just remind me.
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock, there's a road safety meeting here at 8 o'clock. I suggest you attend
On
that meeting
Thursday.
on Thursday at 8 o'clock.
Are you sure about that?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Eight.
After Tangsu, he's in after 8 o'clock. After 8, because Tangsu do's were up to 8.
Yeah.
It's just after 8 o'clock. Okay, Jeremy, did you have anything to comment about?
Just backing up. I was there before him, but
Okay.
he said everything I was.
Okay, I'm going to close. I'm now going to close public participation and open this meeting back up. And item 6 on the agenda is the clerk's report, which we've all had a copy of here. Summary of the clerk's activities for 6 of the 6/23, May 23.
Yeah, there's the main couple of points that out from that is I have completed the internal audit, which I'll talk about later, and wanted to let you know that Sam has passed our IOSH course, and that Sam, Pat and I all passed our first aid at work course that we did last week. I've got a meeting tomorrow with the LAT with road safety, taking that forward. Tomorrow at 1, Evo will come along too, but I'll put a copy of the clerk report in the appendix as well.
Okay, item 7, action point list.
Councillor Letizia, you happy to do your usual?
Here we go again. Eyes down, with you.
Keep that link.
Wrong app. There's the list. Right, 24 items on the list. Clerks remind Councillor Hazelby of the road safety meeting and invite them all now.
Yes, we've
Right,
done
that's
that.
coming on. Overgrown trees and erect to be cut back after September.
I've spoken to Dave.
So that's coming on.
Well, it's not done yet.
No, it's planned.
It is planned, yes.
Coming off.
Okay.
Clerk to update on procurement policy on the website.
No, I haven't done that yet, but send it in.
Traffic cone costs on that. Chalna Hill bench paperwork, Clerk and SP.
We still need to finish it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Florence Nightingale Memorial Bench reimbursement from Box Council.
I'm on it. I'm on the case.
You've sent the invoices,
I've
haven't
sent everything off.
That's coming
I haven't had it.
Raise the village TRO with Box Council reference road safety.
you? That's happening. That's the meeting that's happening tomorrow with the local areas.
Okay. Check HS2 mitigation funds secured with Greg Smith.
We wanted it in writing.
We haven't got it yet. Right, we don't need to write to Greg Smith. Greg Smith will be able to answer this question. Excuse me, guys. Excuse me. Guys, we've got people listening on... Okay, So we need to write to Judith Wainwright, who holds the funding, the mitigation funding. Okay? I believe, I've been verbally told that it's ring fenced and secure.
In case they cancel it. So that's
Yeah.
just a letter from.
Well, I think the clerk then should write to Judith Wainwright. Okay? Write to Judith Wainwright, Buckinghamshire Council.
Yeah, I know who she is.
Yeah, and just ask her, is the funds secured? Should anything happen with the project?
Okay, Mother Floodlight's not done it.
No.
For the permission principle, which will be another thing for our friend to think about.
Yeah.
White Gate and Addison Road, Tilia. Evo.
Until you.
White Gate, Addison Road, Tillion. That's what it is.
But this
Yeah.
was before I was taken over by Frank.
Yeah, I had no update on it.
I sent him the email of Mr. Griffiths.
I don't know how to
at
change.
Team.
Take that off. Sign to Frank. That is done. Then that's price updates.
Yes,
It's
Done.
done.
Investigate bench plaques in Village Orchard, JD. Streetlights, investigate LEDs.
We,
Yeah,
we
there
need
has
to have a
been
meeting about this.
there has been a proposal gone out about that, and I should resend it because they would need to make a decision.
Tilia meeting, children's play area, crossing, drainage holes, White Gate.
Not done yet. The only thing I can say on that is that they're waiting for the safety report before they will do anything.
I understood, I can't remember where I got it from, but I understood they weren't going to open that until the flats were built.
Well, my understanding is that until the works are complete, they will not get a safety certificate on that.
Because the building site's too close and it
Correct.
invites kids to go and play in it.
Correct.
Really?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
building site's behind Harris Fence.
I also
William's
require
just
the
watching,
maintenance company's
looking at that
details.
car. My son is just waiting and watching.
And-
They've been cutting the grass.
And of course the next one in here says challenge the 8 flats, the S106 decision.
Okay, so yeah, I've taken that on board because I sit on the planning committee. I've had a conversation with my chairman. There's another one in somewhere, I can't remember where it was, Padbury or somewhere, that has been rejected or pushed back again because of S106 contribution. So when that one came up in front of me, I raised then the 8 flats with Councillor Phoebe, and him and the case officer now are looking into. My argument was that it was initially supposed to be a doctor's surgery. The doctor's surgery wasn't taken up. Tillier went for a change of use and we got 8 flats on it. My understanding is that 8 flats forms part of the whole project, i.e. 100 houses plus 8 flats plus the co-op. So therefore we should be getting S106 money for the 8 flats.
It wasn't part of the project, they'd opened their playroom, their play park, wouldn't
Yeah.
they?
So it's being dealt with as we speak. Don't expect an answer too quickly, but I would imagine that the officers now said hold off on building the flats, although I think they've started. Yeah.
Fred, the email I forwarded to you of the senior planning officer of Telia, who's
Yeah.
based in Cambridge,
Yeah.
I raised this question with him, besides for other issues, and his reply was, yes, I assume that is all included in it. So Telia is actually expected to pay Section 106 contribution for those 8 flats.
Okay. Well, look at I will speak to the case officer at Buckinghamshire Council either tomorrow or Friday, probably Friday. And I'll get an update and I'll make a comment to the fact that I found out at the parish council meeting that the senior planning officer at Tillier is expecting to pay S106 contributions.
Yeah, check the email I sent you, Mr. Griffiths as well.
Okay.
Youth council engagement.
Yeah, we have contacted, I have contacted the school. They were very supportive, introduced us to their councillor opposite the the start of it. But we subsequently needed to get a meeting date, and they've been elusive since then.
Clayton.
Honestly, yeah. But I'm on it. Yeah.
Okay. I will have something else to say about the youth in recreation grounds. But the council about the Undercroft Heritage query, I've submitted a question, not had an answer. I'll wait. I'll chase it. Civility and Respect Pledge.
I can't reword it. It is as it comes out from now, so we'll need to take that off if council have decided not to go ahead with signing the pledge.
Okay. Cocktail at Light Dim.
I'm seeing this tomorrow at the LAT meeting, but I did mention it to him and he said he needed to speak to Paul about a cherry picker.
You've got to get up there.
You need a very long ladder.
The Paul won't be able to provide it. We would have to provide that.
He's provided it before from Village Networks.
Oh,
Paul Firth.
Wildlife cameras, JD. Monthly report on the Parish Council Playgrounds magazine, that's ongoing. Tilly site about benches and bins. It's all in the same conversation.
Yeah.
Annual badminton tape removal. Sticks in my throat every time.
Oh.
What?
Give it the right
I keep getting told to leave it on there.
Well,
because-
why don't you put it to pop on in a year? Or something?
Can you do that?
Yes, you can get it to repair.
Blows it around.
I can't do that.
You're going to know him next month. Well,
Yeah, right. That's it.
Okay, right. Action. Agenda item number 7 is number 8. Working group updates on activities and recommendation. So, first one is finance to
yeah, 2 of them.
On delivery.
Okay, so the finance one. Yeah.
Hannah wages, Hannah expenses for the car share to Aylesbury and back for the 3 of us, £15.07. Sam Hill wages, Papsell wages, Papsell expenses, 4 children's books, £30.42. Nick Oscoby wages, BHIB, that this is an update to the annual renewal I added in the CCTV poll, £24.62. Duke's fire safety, thank you. Fire risk assessment for the hall and pavilion, 400. Melanie Rose for the annual internal audit, 60. Swarco, a 30% payment of the 2 MBAS solar battery powered units, £4,795.27, which I will contact Judith Wainwright to discuss claiming back from the HS2 fund.
Safety fund.
Sorry.
Yeah. Oak Park alarms, 657 for maintenance.
Can I just make it quite clear here?
Yep.
When you're speaking to Judith Wainwright,
Yep.
make it categorically clear that the money is coming out of the HS2 Road Safety Fund and not out of the mitigation fund.
Yes.
That's very important that you do that.
These are 2 separate emails.
Correct.
Right. Oak Park alarm, maintenance charge, fire alarm system in the hall, including the cottage, maintenance charge for emergency lighting and fire extinguishers in the hall and pavilion, 657. Bunting & Co, PAYE for the quarter ending in March, 225. Active landscapes, 12-month retention balance at 2.5%, which Councillor Mitchell and I have submitted the S106 forms to claim it back from the MUGA S106 funding, £2,545.20p. Becky Pontefract for face painting, final payment plus an extra hour worked for the King's Coronation event, 135. T King Associates for our 504 mugs for the King's Coronation gifts under S137, £1,118.88p. Eon the Island fit a shield, £25. Eon North End Road wiring issue. Somebody ripped one of the panels off on a street light, so that was £20. Street light maintenance for the quarter ending in March, £457.14. Weatherhead drainage. These dates for, well no, I'll start on that one actually. 2104 Convy unit in the initial visit was 1,200, and then 22nd of the 5th, 23rd of the 5th, 24th of the 5th and 25th of the 5th was the Convy unit and groundworks teams for the 3.5 days, £5,800 for the drainage works. Buckland and Sons for a second skip, which was agreed for the cottage and the garden waste that Sam and Lee have got out of there. That will be going after it's been paid this week. Dave Martin, Vicarage Orchard for March, April and May, 240. Dave Griffiths for the recreation ground for May, 590. Check Safe, which is the Lone Worker app. Now I had a quick discussion with Councillor Cherry, and from that had a discussion with the caretaker. The Lone Worker app was brought in for our previous caretaker. Our current caretaker doesn't really feel it is of use, and she would be quite happy if she didn't have it.
She doesn't use it.
She doesn't use it and has never.
So that's just a lone worker.
Yes.
Right. She is a lone worker.
I have told her that.
She needs to use it.
Okay. She just raised it that she doesn't use it. She didn't feel she needs it.
She should.
Okay.
She's just done her work. She should realise.
We have to be very careful here.
Yeah, no, of course.
If she hasn't got it and something happens, we are, as her employer, we are held accountable.
Okay, no, that's absolutely fine. It was just raised by her.
So,
I said I'd ask the question.
Anna, can you go back to the caretaker and say, I've had a discussion with the councillors. The councillors have agreed that you mustn't use the app because you are a lone worker.
Okay.
And if we have to get that in writing, then we need to get it in writing and put it on the HR file because we need to be covered at all times. Can you pull that email off and put it into
Yes.
Sam's?
Yes, it doesn't need to know. HMRC PAYE month 3, which is paid by direct debit quarterly, £721.46. Buckinghamshire Council Commercial Waste and Recycling Collection, £115.60. I had to contact them because they've changed their billing system, so it is showing that you still need to pay it, and I contacted them and confirmed it is indeed direct debit. So commercial waste and recycling for April, £151.50. Eon Next for the electricity to the library and the hall for April to May, £147.88. Eon Next for electric to the pavilion, 1st of April to the 30th of April, £30.04. Eon Next electric to the Florence Nightingale Memorial Clock and the CCTV pole, 1st of April to the 30th of April, £42.58. N-Power electric to the streetlights, 1st of April to the 30th of April, £1,718.86. British Gas, gas to the hall and library, 1st of April to the 30th of April, £368.18. Wave, water and waste to the hall and library, £138.20. Village Networks, Wi-Fi to the hall and library, 25. Village Networks, Wi-Fi to the pavilion, 25. Some additional spend on the cash card of the Microsoft 10 licenses monthly subscription, 45. Open rent for the gas safety certificate for the caretaker's cottage, £37.50. Vonage for the VoIP line subscription for the library and clerk, £19.28. Booking bug for the pavilion, village hall online diary subscription, £29.94. And St John's ambulance for a medium-sized first aid box, 3 pairs of scissors, and 4 single-use ice packs was £48.
Well done. Sorry for you.
No, that's it, and the accounts info for council's information.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right, so I need a proposal for the check run, please.
Yep, I'm happy with that.
Okay, Councillor Mitchell. Seconder, Evo.
Thank you. Which council will help me to put the back payments through? They're all set up.
They're set up already.
They are, yeah.
I can do that tomorrow.
You sure? Thank you.
Okay, moving on.
Frank, can I ask a question about where do we fund the, there are two issues. One is the coronation, and the other one is the drainage work of recreation program. From which account are these two items?
Coronation was agreed that council had set a budget for that.
Right.
And the drainage, we have the reserves, we have what was separated out as a pot of reserves for drainage. We just put them into a single pot of reserves, but it has come out of the reserves. We will need to precept in the future for it will come up in discussion, I'm sure, but that there will be ongoing maintenance to the drainage between, I think it's every 2 years. So that will then need to be precepted for.
Okay.
With the interest going up, have we put the money that we have in the savings account? Do we have a savings account? And
We
is it
do.
worthwhile doing that?
We have one account that has got the Lewis family money in that gets interest. The Lloyd's account does not get interest, but it has no monthly charges. And that was decided before my time, but that is the Lloyd's account, which is our main reserves account for 4 to 6 months cover should anything happen. The Barclays is a current account, so that it has charges, but it also we make a small amount on it. But so the main one, the Lewis family, is in an account that does make money. Yes.
Okay. Right, moving on to internal audit. To receive the report from the internal auditor.
In which case, this is the audit file. This is the very important piece of paper that has everything in it that we will need to look through. This has been sent round to Council. This is the annual governance and accountability return for 22-23 that Councillor Mitchell, myself, Nick Oscarby and the internal auditor have been through in detail, and we have passed with no advisories from the internal auditor. So the next thing is to consider and agree the accounting statement figures, which has been sent round in the AGAR, which it wouldn't have got through the assessment if they weren't correct. And I need to bring to Council's attention that the confirmation of the dates for the period of the exercise of public rights falsely proclaimed in Parish Council will be commencing on Thursday the 8th of June and ending on Thursday the 20th of July. So if anybody is interested, they just have to make an appointment with me and I will go through the audit file with them.
Is that on the website?
It will be once it's signed off after tonight.
Has anybody ever asked you
You.
before? Okay. Has anybody ever asked you before?
No. But I'd be quite happy to
Right,
go
you
through
sign
it.
that.
I need you to sign this.
Yeah.
So this is you to view the internal audit
Yeah.
report. That is all
Done.
signed off. Lovely. Then, so,
Chairman.
yes. And there's a second page as well. And then I'll read my annual report. In fact, if you want to. And then I sign underneath it, and then this is the page for you to sign, which is this one. Sign for the chairman. There. Lovely. So I can read my RFO report. Hi. Good evening. I've now been in the role for 4.5 years. I do really still enjoy the bowl, although it is a very busy one. The council have, as ever, been very supportive, which is most appreciated because there's always so very much to be done. I've received a huge amount of help and support, as ever, from the Chair, Councillor Frank Mahon, and the Vice Chair, Councillor Letizier, for which I'm very grateful, and a special mention must be made for Councillor Marie Cherry, who works so hard and has a contagious love of village life and its history. And our new caretaker, Sam Hills, has been a very welcome addition to the team. As part of my role as proper officer, I am the responsible financial officer, and as such, I once again offer my sincere thanks to the retired parish clerk, Nick Oscarby, for his support with the audit. I'm pleased to confirm that the internal audit was completed and passed with no advisories on our 22-23 figures on Friday the 2nd of June 23, undertaken once again by Melanie Rose, who is the proper officer and clerk to the Council for Wadston. This audit is in accordance with the Audit's Accounts and Audit Regulations 2003 and 2006 the Local Audit and Accountability Act 2014 and Smaller Authorities Transparency Requirements in England, Regulations 2015/494, and as directed in Governance and Accountability for Local Councils in England and Wales, a practitioner's guide. 22-23 was once again an active financial year for the Parish Council with a retained focus on asset maintenance and repair, health and safety requirements and insurance priorities. The hall kitchen has finally been finished via S106 payments from Bucks Council from the local building site companies. The mugger was completed and opened in the summer of 22. The CCTV pole was installed. The hall roof has had extensive repairs, new stage curtains, the barometer and the library plaque have been restored. Vital drainage in the recreation ground, currently ongoing when I typed it, have now concluded hopefully. The annual governance accountability return was prepared for the audit and is presented to the Parish Council for signing off in the June PC meeting. A few of the headline figures. Closing balance on the 31st of March 22 was 2,441,742. The opening balances for April 23, 344,910. Total spend in 21-22 was £125,511, including VAT, against a total income of £150,529. Total spend in 22-23 was £300,650, including VAT, against a total income of £295,973. Some expenditure headlines. The staff costs of 21-22 were £41,384. The staff costs for 22-23 were £44,260. All other spend 21-22 was an additional £125,511 on the kitchen, and an additional in 22-23 £344,623, including the mugger, the kitchen, the roof repairs and the CCTV pole. Our 21-22 precept was £103,750. Our 22-23 precept was £119,550. Total other income in 21-22 was £46,779, and in 22-23 was £176,423. The 21-22 VAT claim of £36,580.10 was approved and has been received. The 22-23 VAT claim will be, as usual, be submitted now the internal audit is fully completed. A thorough review of figures set by the whole Parish Council enabled the precept 22-23 to be set at £1,119,550. There is, of course, an ongoing requirement for maintenance of Parish Council assets to meet health and safety insurance requirements. County Council funding remains as ever under great pressure. All wage payments have been made after deduction of tax and national insurance where appropriate and in line with current legislation. Additionally, the Parish Council is observing employee pension regulations, and these are being arranged by the Council's accountant who run the payroll. We adjusted the caretaker and librarian pay in accordance with national guidelines. The Parish Council will continue to make retrospective adjustments to wage levels to accommodate all staff in post for over 12 months. Online banking has been in use for nearly 4 years now, with relevant checks put in place with the clerk setting up the transaction and 2 counsellors who are now able to complete and confirm the process. The monthly payments are scheduled to go through the Friday after the meeting is standard, unless a bank holiday weekend, giving 3 days for relevant councillors to process payment after they've been agreed at full council. A cash card is in use as a way of avoiding petty cash and of having to reimburse councillors and staff. It allows for cash for hall hire to be paid into the post office. This can be now done regularly. Nick Osby has been retained to support the audit at 5 hours a month going forwards, as the internal and external audits are in place to inspect the accounts when larger amounts go through the system from the S106 funds. Thank you.
Okay, so that's the RFO. So we've covered basically.
Yep, down to H.
Yeah. So moving on to H. Trading magazine funding update. Don't have any update. We're waiting on a meeting to be held to give us the 3 months progress on what's happened over the last 3 months. So I did notice that there is some sort of a dispute between the magazine and the church. That's not for us to get involved. Not for us to get involved in. Okay. Recreation ground report from recreation ground team. While Steve gave his update, have you given an update to the Parish Council, Steve, on the works that was carried out?
No.
No, but it should be.
Well,
If you put it under report, I can have that in.
yeah. Well, let's just note also then for the record that I am not a member of the recreation team. Recreation ground team. Okay, works were carried out. We did what we said we were going to do. That large pipe is now running. We got quite a lot more work out of Weatherheads than we actually paid for, because not only did they replace that pipe, but they also cleaned out all of the foul connections from the pavilion that were overflowing, rammed full of all sorts of awful things. I did notice, don't want to worry anybody, but there is a foul manhole there with an overflow pipe on it that leads straight out the back garden of the house that backs onto the pavilion. Whether or not anything was going down it, I do not know. Where that pipe ends up, I do not know. It was just an observation. That's what it was. Found out quite a few things about the general layout of the drainage in that area that's not connected to the wreck. So I know where the village surface water connection goes and the village foul connection goes underneath the car park of the wreck, both of which will be very relevant when it comes to the project of the car park, because there is a massive, and I mean a huge, concrete chamber under that car park. It's big and deep. It's a good 5 metres deep. But it's a big one. So, yeah, all in all, that large pipe is connected and flowing. All but one of the connecting land drainage drums going into that manhole were jetted and cleared out of routes, of which there were lots. One of them, the one that leads towards the corner of the wreck.
So the bottom of the wreck.
Yeah, towards the corner, so away from the pavilion. The jetting hose went about 1.5 meters down that and then stopped. The pipe has collapsed. Whether or not what we've done will be sufficient to take all of the drainage now away from the wreck and see when it rains. Whether or not we now need to plan to dig up that pipe that's collapsed and replace it, I don't know. Can do if you want. Cost money.
Let's let it rain first.
Yes.
See.
My advice would be from this point on, now that these drain lines are clear, do not, for future reference, do not let them get blocked up again. I would advise once every 2 years you need to get in or in there to get them all out again, just to make sure that the roots do block it up as much as it was. I don't think everybody saw it. I think most people saw the excavation and the size of the roots that were being dug through in order to replace the pipe. That's very typical, I have to say. Like I said. Okay.
I will get in touch with the TPO officer to get the tree reviewed.
Yes, it'd be interesting, that tree. There were a couple of other interesting observations, but it's only really interesting if you're aiming about drainage, like what I am. Yeah.
It started flooding there when the main pipe under the parking place got blocked, so it's a good hope that it will drain out. But sooner or later.
Okay, that main pipe onto the car park has been blocked for years. And I mean,
2 years ago, it was still quite extremely water.
It might well have been.
My question is, would it not be sensible to get a quote already so we can put in the preset for next year that we have to replace that whole drain pipe up to the bench behind the house?
Well, in common with the work that was done, you don't really know what needs to be done until you start digging a hole. Correct. So the extra works that were done down there, as a favour to me, were done as a day rate cost rather than an estimate on the civils.
No,
Would that be a reasonable
I think would I be
assumption?
right in saying, Steve, that they normally put in a provisional sum for anything that's unseen?
Yeah.
So they would throw 20, 30,000 at it maybe.
I wouldn't have thought it'd be that much, but yes, they would throw a PC sum at it,
Yeah.
and then they would start digging holes, and most drainage companies would then start looking for additional money out of the job rather than less money out of the job. But yeah, I've known that all the time. I've known this. He's tried it before.
But like John said, let's let it rain
Yeah,
and see what
we
happens,
need-
and then
Yeah,
that would be the
we
next
need
Yeah,
to
step.
go back.
it will rain long before we have to submit something for precept for next year,
Okay.
I think.
I'm
December,
sure.
we need to consider the precept.
Yeah, come October, we'll see.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to the Mugger Right pit. Well, Steve mentioned that in the action point list.
Nothing.
Yep. Outdoor exercise equipment submission for village consultation, whole council.
I have got here the 4 suggestions from them all, that what they want to send through. And it's basically a case of how do we want to display them and get village opinion on them.
Well, I know one of the ways we did it last time with the Mugger and the skate park was to put them up in the windows of the pavilion.
Yes, but they sent me really nice printed out things. These are lots and lots and lots of pages.
Is there any link that we could put on our parish council Facebook page or website
To a document.
to pull people there, as well as try and
I would suggest that someone from the council reviews it, makes a small list of the 4 options, and we publish the 4 options.
Yep.
Rather than drawing,
Who would like
Yeah.
to have a meeting with me about that then?
Yeah, I know it's going my way.
Well, you're not on the rec team.
I know.
You're not on the rec team,
I'll
Bessa.
just write that down.
Is the rec?
But you know that
He
building.
needs a t-shirt for that written on it, I think.
Are you sure? I'm going to write your name down. Are you sure?
Okay. So that's the equipment.
So we might also need Councillor Cherry to help us do a
Make it
poll.
look pretty.
Yes, and do a poll.
Okay.
Simple read.
Small court claims. Steve.
That has been put back to September. Obviously, as we know, we won the case. Subsequently, the plaintiff
Yeah.
has appealed because they claim they did not receive anything, which we know is not the case because we've got signed paperwork to say they did receive stuff. But the court date is September.
Okay. Right. Steve McLeod Football Club.
Here we go again. I think Steeple Claydon Football Club cannot be allowed to die. And ask. It's on its last legs. The existing management team, for whatever reason, don't want anything more to do with it. So I have approached the FA, Bucks and Bucks FA, to ask, how does somebody take over a football club? Their response initially was brilliant. We're brilliant. We're so glad that someone else is involved. And blah 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 blah. Subsequently,
Nothing.
well, not nothing. Just here's a link to our website that explains how to start a football club. Not how does someone go about taking this over. So I've written back to them again yesterday to say, that's lovely, thanks, I understand this, but what about the existing team? Is it possible to take over an existing football club? I'm not suggesting that I take it over, I'm just trying to find out if it's possible for someone, a team of people to take it over. What happens with the finances? What happens with the assets of the club owned, the goalposts, things like that? Is there a bank account somewhere with money in it? I don't know. But they don't seem to be responding very quickly.
Okay.
Do
Let's
you know
watch
anything
what.
of football clubs in the surrounding villages?
Yeah, there's
There
one.
is there's already another football club using facilities.
There
Yes.
is, and it did cross my mind to talk to Overweight FC see what they think about it, because they're playing this weekend. Aren't they?
They're playing on Saturday.
Saturday, is it?
Yeah, 12 o'clock kickoff.
Okay. I'll probably go and have a check on that.
I know a few of the Steeple Claydon football team are playing for them
I know they are.
Good.
Yeah. And the others are playing in various other teams.
now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whether or not they come back to it, I don't know.
What's annoying me at the minute is that I sponsored 2 sets of shirts for Steeple Claydon Football Club.
Well, look, that aside, I think whatever happened within the club, it doesn't need to just go back to how it was. You know, it needs to. But that's not.
Okay.
That's
All right.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened
No.
in the club. I just know it's stopped.
Yeah.
You know, that's as far as I know.
Let's keep going.
Okay, let's see what Steve gets from the FA.
That might ruin football career, of course, which I'm still bitter about, which is why I'm interested in it. I could have been a contender.
Good job.
No.
Right, Rainbow Buddy Bench, stroke pavilion roof vandalism.
Fire safety assessment.
Oh,
Yes,
sorry.
no. So we got the fire safety assessment back before the hall and pavilion. I've gone through them both with Councillor Prophet. One of the main ones for the pavilion is we need to put in smoke and carbon monoxide alarms. So Sam had a look and we thought one in the kitchen and one in each changing room, and I just wanted to get that approved by council, if that's okay, for 3 smoke and carbon monoxide detectors.
Though, would the
Because
carbon
they've got-
monoxide not be better in the
Referee room.
referee room? Because that's where the
Yeah.
douche-me is. Sorry, I'm not very good.
Yeah, they're covered with the thing.
How much are these going to cost?
They're about 30 quid each.
I approve them. Yeah.
Non-elected.
Yeah, but I know you have something to say.
No.
Right, can I just get a seconded so I can go ahead and purchase?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, Rainbow Buddy Bench, pavilion roof vandalism.
So, as you know, the Rainbow Buddy Bench has been vandalised. So I've contacted the insurers and I've contacted the company because we wondered if maybe it could be repaired. She's come back to say that no,
No.
it can't be repaired, but that they would offer us a 20% discount if we wanted to order another one from the same company.
What, the same bench that would
Well,
potentially have the same problems? 'Cause-
Well, no, she does recommend.
she did recommend a couple of hardier versions of
Oh,
our type of bench. So if I send that round to the to the whole council,
Yeah,
Do they do it in rainbow?
well, she did say, didn't she, there was a multicoloured one.
yeah.
This is
Um,
kept
Would council want it to be the same with the same wording because it was actually a COVID.
I kept it
Thanks.
with the wording on
No, you've only got one of the ones with wording
Oh,
on.
was there
There
more?
were 4, yeah, but the other 3.
it. It was not only did it get broken, the following morning it disappeared.
Yes. How random. Very heavy as well.
And did CCTV catch anything?
Yes, but they haven't sent that to me. So
heard
I contact the
something about
CCTV
it.
company and say, have you got anything? And he comes back with yes on the phone. I then send him the crime reference number and the link that so I fill out a form, TVP then usually give me a phone call, then follow it up with an email. I send it on to the CCTV company and it's all dealt with via them.
And has that happened?
As that has happened,
Any
yes.
feedback from
No feedback from anything. And with regards to the pavilion, when I went and looked through our footage that we've got in the pavilion, you can see the teenagers are playing on the container roof, but you can't see them climbing on our pavilion roof. However, the CCTV pole caught them, so that has gone off to the police direct.
Yeah, there was a separate incident where somebody was told you, the clerk, that there was
Yes.
somebody on the pavilion roof, and then from the CCTV, she thought maybe they got confused because they were on the
Container.
container roof, but actually the
But no,
CCTV
yeah.
pole caught
So-
them on the pavilion.
So what we've done from that is we've contacted obviously the police and the insurance company because last time someone was on the pavilion roof we didn't realise that they'd caused any damage until later on. So I've had to contact the company and tell them that. and yes, and that's all gone off. And we've done some additional signage to go up that says, please do not climb on the containers, you know,
Risk to life.
risk to life, and no entry, authorised personnel only, and such like, in order to try and deter further climbers.
Can we put another lock on so one of the containers has had it and needs to go?
Sam has spoken to Lee. He said
It's
he would
dangerous.
be worth giving it a go to cut out, because when I contacted the scrap man to take it, last time we emptied it, and the scrap man came round and he said we won't take the old metal container until we cut out the wooden floor. Then they will come back, cut up the container in pieces and take it away. Lee said he would be happy to cut up the floor for us if we want to get rid of it. At the moment, that container now contains just the sandbags. Sam's taken everything else out of there because there was an old ladder, which apparently they then later on used to get back down from the pavilion roof after quite a lot of arm waving. Apparently, I don't know, I haven't seen it. So Sam has moved everything out of the container because there was chairs and they were throwing them around. So all there is in the container is sandbags. If we want to empty it completely and try and get the scrap man around again before the North End Road car park project starts,
Yeah.
I can ask Lee to investigate, would he require us to buy any tools to do that? Because I believe
Or can
it's
he
an angle
get hold-
grinder.
Can he do it and take the money for the scraps as payment and just get on with it?
I believe
Rather
that's-
than like us buy tools that we're only going to use that one time.
He'll have an angle grinder in his possession.
So, but do council want me to actually organise getting rid of the old rusty container?
Yes.
Yes.
Because we are using it for sandbags.
Well, so where could the sandbags go?
They're francs from Bucks Councils.
Yes. So is the football container our container or the football team's container?
I don't know, that was before my time.
It's got a lock on it.
But I'm thinking there isn't a football team, so I'm thinking it's ours.
Because the sandbags
Need to
were
be
given
kept safe.
to us for where if North End Road floods to be
Yeah.
able to help out.
Yeah.
But
This should have to be
there we go. But we don't want to keep that container. That container needs to go.
Yeah.
If we can pop them into the football container just for now, just put them in there. So
Okay.
at least they're still at the site they need to be at if the rain comes.
thinking, just put them in there.
Okay.
I will speak to Lee.
Okay.
Thanks.
Right, moving on to CCTV monitoring health costs.
So this was, council had approved me booking the 10 times a year downloads, and then John had sent round an email and I hadn't had any replies really. So the health monitoring is 600 plus VAT per year, that's for the software to scan. You all remember the email? Yeah. Site visits 65 plus downloads are, they offer a block of 10 per year at £500 plus VAT paid in advance. What does everyone want me to do?
I think we should spend the money and do it.
So the
Once we've
10
had-
downloads at £500 plus the £600 health monitoring.
Well, once we've had a year to reflect on,
Yes.
we can look at how many downloads we needed, then we can make a decision, a more informed decision.
Yeah.
The following year.
Because we've used 2, sort of, in the last month.
3,
But
yeah, three so
Three in the
far.
last
I would
month.
imagine
I think we've done
next few
4 in
months are
total.
probably going to be the busy months,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
it's probably going to get quiet.
Okay.
And
So-
I think there's also a trend, so I'm told, there's also a trend that once there are consequences publicised and known about, then the deterrent value cuts in, and we probably required to download fewer.
Okay. Right.
Okay,
Okay.
so all councillors have agreed with
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. Okay, moving on. Retention fee for Morgor, S106 claim. Councillor Mitchell.
That is just to let you know that the retention fee came in for the 2.5, so we have put in the S106 claim. So we're spending the money on Friday, but I've already sent Joe the forms to try and start claiming that money back.
Okay.
Same as I've done for the Florence Nightingale.
Okay, Village Hall, Library and
Were there-
Cottage.
Sorry, were there no conditions attached to the handing over the retention money?
So I have to send him the copy of the...
Yeah, but I'm talking about anything that we spot in 12 months that's wrong with the mother.
Oh, I see.
Because that's what the retention period is about, is making sure that the mother is fine in that period before we're able to. So
Should
Do
we
we
have
want to
arranged
say
a meeting or something with them?
I don't
That's what
know.
we did with the skate park, isn't
Yes.
it? They came and assessed the skate park, put a
Ooh.
little bit of paint on the metal,
Okay.
you know.
Because, we've experienced things like some of the fixings coming loose.
Cricket,
And
stumps.
Ask them to come out and do a
Assessment.
final assessment, or
Yeah.
sign-off assessment.
Yeah.
yeah, as far as I know, nothing wrong with it.
No, but we should,
Being used quite well. But I think the other thing is, of course, we should have planned in maintenance of it by now. So it'd be worth looking in that O&M manual that was supplied with it.
Well, it didn't really say that there was a lot to do from when I remember looking at it. That it was, you may need to add sand. But
It's always the sort of thing that I think that maybe every few years it needs to be hoovered and relaid with new sand. But anyway, I don't know if that's a thing.
I will ask.
but when they
Andrew from
come,
Active
make sure
Landscapes
that's
to
one
come
of the
out.
questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And okay. And I'll get Sam there as well. Any councillors want to be involved if I do arrange it?
I don't mind.
Okay, I'll let them know.
Steve wants to be, you can tell.
Right.
Okay, so Village Hall, Library and Cottage. Report from the Village Hall team. Nothing really to report, is there?
Oh, I've got one. Rainbows did their sleepover last weekend, and I have a message to read out. Sorry.
The village was very kind.
She said to say that the sleepover went very well. The girls all seemed to enjoy themselves, and the one who only came Saturday returned, in fact, for the sleepover. Thank you for organising everything. Your end which made the sleepover possible. We're already thinking of the next one, maybe a circus theme.
Oh, wow. That's great.
Okay.
And I think just to say that what East West Rail painted looks very nice.
Yes, and they're
Black
coming
looks
back to
very
finish
nice.
off. Yeah.
They're putting the top coat on, aren't they?
Yep. Shiny top
And they
coat on.
painted the rails at the back, which is lovely.
They look fab.
Because the back used to, I know everybody sees it, but it used to look a right mess. The bench
Would you,
used to be
I'm in the CAM meeting with East West Rail on Thursday. Would you like me, on behalf of the Parish Council, to thank EWR for what they did here?
Not till they finish.
Yeah. Are they going to paint our white gates as well?
I don't know.
There was starfish to move.
Okay, moving on. Any library business? Don't think so.
The Florence Nightingale bench, she would like to know when people are going to be installing it. Yeah, it's very heavy. I really do think it was going to take more, like minimum of 2 people. It is very heavy. It's really nice.
There's still a bit of work that needs to be done to the ground
Yeah.
there before we put it in place.
They're back on the 5th. They had very burly, helpful chaps last time, so if there was money, maybe we could.
Yeah, but unless they're going to bring some paving.
No, I know, that's what I was thinking. Is there anything I can get in advance?
I'm not convinced. Hey, listen, if they will do that work for us, fantastic.
Is it going to be
That's what
concrete?
we need.
Down.
No, we're really talking about what we do with the ground before we put the bench in place. So, in brief, my thought on the basis that it would be cheap and cheerful we could do it ourselves would be to put a membrane and some stones down and then fix the bench. The librarian had a preference for slabs, which I really don't want at all. There was a compromise alternative, which was to lay the proper word for the once laid, they have the appearance of being cobblestones, but they're not actually cobblestones. They're actually like half thickness and they're netted, but they're much easier to lay.
They drain.
They do drain.
Right next
Yeah,
to
they drain.
the oldest part of the building.
They absolutely drain. They're much easier to lay than slabs, and they look much nice. I'll pull something together for us to have a look at. I did think that it would be something we could do ourselves. I thought it would be something I could help with, but I've got time now. But if we
Well,
like
that's
to
what I
look
was
at it,
thinking, is if anybody's around who might have a bit of knowledge on it, they're supposed to be back on the 15th.
well, if I send you something for us to have a look at, and if we're agreed on the principle, then
Yeah.
Okay. Right, moving on. Investigate Village Hall building rebuild costs for insurers every 3 years. None on insurers' records.
Are you happy for me to get quotes from 3 companies to investigate Village Hall rebuild costs for
Yeah.
our insurers?
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But can we get someone to do that for free?
Can you?
I don't know, that's my point.
This is a quote.
Yeah, but
I'm assuming
if you own a building company, would you go around the place doing quotes and with full knowledge you're not going to get anything
It's
else?
an insurance company though, isn't it?
I don't know.
You'd imagine.
Well, no, I haven't looked into it before, so I just wanted to check the council were happy to investigate.
So
Yeah,
you might be
investigate, but
talking
don't
about-
spend any money.
You might be talking about getting a quantity surveyor to do it.
I will need to check with my insurers what they're
And
asking
I'm
for.
sure there's some of those things.
Okay. So I will keep council informed as to, I'll speak to the insurers and find out exactly who they would expect me to get to write the report, and then I'll try and get the 3.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bell bar
Thank you.
photographs.
Not that I'm aware.
Okay. Moving on. Loud music at Village Hall complaint. New posters in place.
Please note the new posters are in place.
Yeah.
And I will,
Fire safety assessment update.
so,
EICR form to be updated.
yes, because now when I started here, we had an electrician come round and do an update, and he left the paperwork with the caretaker, and that folder has never reappeared. And all I've got is the stuff from my paperwork from the predecessor. So, but apparently it has to be done every 3 years. So I think we should get a new electrical installation condition report, unless I check with Pete Golding, unless it was him who did it last time. So it has to be done every 3 years. I'm not sure when the last one was done, if it's not this one from 2018.
Find out from Pete how much it
Yeah.
Okay.
is. And just start again from.
Tractor shed.
Okay, gas certificate for cottage now due the 11th of the 6th.
And it is now done.
Perfect.
So I asked council for whether we should stay with the British Gas SureCare, which had gone up quite a lot in price, and we decided that we've done a lot of plumbing work and the cottage recently, that as long as she gets her gas safety certificate redone for the year, we've got Pete Bonham as the approved plumber for Village Hall and Cottage, and that hopefully it won't need anything within the next year. The British gas prices have gone up a lot.
Okay. Right. Vicarage Orchard, Councillor Davies is not here, so we can't get any updates on that. Communications, Councillor Cherry.
Yeah, well, only a few communications about the 40 million
Okay.
October and just some general bits and bobs.
Okay. Village emergency document, draft written up, next meeting date to be agreed.
Yeah, we still need to get another meeting date agreed once I've sent around the 3rd draft again.
Okay, street furniture, notice board updates, Councillor Mitchell.
they've been ordered. I don't know for a while. I will chase.
Okay. Benches update.
The scouts are not doing an audit. I think. I'll do an audit and we'll press ahead with that. There should be an item D on here as well, I can just add that now, which is streetlights. I will recirculate an email that I sent you a while back, but in round terms, it's going to cost about 36 grand to change all of our streetlights to LEDs. We get payback on that after 4.5 years. So that's after 4.5 years, we'll then be saving £37,000 every 4.5 years. There is a finance option attached to that, which will be paid over 5 years. And there have been in the past a number of other sources of funding for that type of project. I've investigated probably 4 or 5 I think. All of the pots are empty, not surprisingly. There's one possible pot that has still to come back to me. But on the assumption that it will probably also be empty as well, the option will be, the options open to us for funding this will be to take up the finance option, which is okay, or to draw some money down from HS2 mitigation pot, which would be my preference. The cost of the finance over 5 years is about 10 grand. So if we draw some money down from HS2, it's going to save us £10,000. But I'll research that anyway.
Okay.
Is the drop in energy prices going to affect that?
Yeah, they will. They will, and in which case, payback might be more than 4.5 years. But we will definitely get payback. There's no question. Plus, it's plus it's kinder to the planet. So, it will save us money long.
And they last longer. They don't replace things often if they're like bulbs in the house. I don't know. Are they like supposed to? Yeah.
Okay. Moving on to benches on Chalmers Hill, Councillor Prophet.
We need to have a meeting about that. But you had a meeting with Mount, didn't you?
Yeah, so we've kind of like arranged an area where it could go, and we've spoken to the house owner that faces the patch of grass, and they're quite happy for it to go there. So you contacted Bucks, didn't you, to ask about what permissions we need?
Yeah, and she sent that form back and I sent it on to you.
Yeah, it's on their merge. That form was basically it wasn't really an application form, it was more of notification of works.
Yes.
So we just need to double check that we don't need to get any kind of written permission from them.
Yeah.
First
I'm seeing her tomorrow, but if you've got any of the form completed, ping it to me before 1 o'clock tomorrow when I'm seeing her. Otherwise, we'll just have to send it on to Alison Poland, the
I'll do it
LAT.
tomorrow morning then. And I guess we need to establish if we have a bench that we can put on it, because I know that there's a few sort of circulating, and I think it was discussed. It was mentioned that the one that's up here might be too small for its current spot, and we could maybe use that one if we're going to get a bigger one.
That is what I would thought would be sensible, was the one that is currently out the front, move it halfway down the hill and put the bigger one.
Yeah, we need somebody to do the audit first.
Yes.
Because we're going to need a few, and we do
There's the
have
spinning as
some
well
other
we discussed, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on to events, upcoming events, fireworks day, Saturday the 4th of November 2023. Councillor Letizia, any updates? No.
Date of next meeting or anything? Anyone's diaries?
Housing Festival, any updates? No.
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
I sent that email.
Because we received an email from Joe, I suppose,
Yeah.
at some length of the weekend, and we need to decide what to tell him reference to the email that he sent out. They were really pleased with last year and how people in the village engaged with them. Thought it was lovely. They want to do more this year. In fact, we got our conversation.
I've got another copy of the email if anyone needs to see it.
But yeah, of course, he's on about free tickets and stuff for various people. But we need to decide how to respond to them.
Okay. And also on that point, I'm pleased to announce that 3B's radio will be transmitting from the festival.
So can you remind me, Steve, do all councils get a ticket, a free ticket?
All local
I
councils.
thought the email saying that they will give each
I'd like to
council.
offer some tickets to the key members of the local parish council. Please let me have names and emails for those that wish to attend, and I'll arrange tickets accordingly. But the important thing, as we do every year, we would like to offer some free tickets to those most in need in the community, and to those that would never normally be able to attend a festival.
Well,
We do it anonymously and do not promote it anywhere.
yeah,
We'd normally do around 20 family tickets.
yeah, he gave me 20 last year.
Do you have a contact for a local support agency, food bank or charity that we may be able to offer the tickets through? We offer local residents a 20% discount ticket for all those living in an MK18 postcode, and if you are able to spread the word, we would be very grateful. I've attached a poster that we can use on any social media. I have no problem with having that stand. Great.
Yeah.
Good lineup.
So I need to do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what are we replying to him with, councillors?
I haven't finished.
Okay.
Because they also require locations for their larger road sign markings. These are 1 metre by 80 centimetres, and they need to be located on busy traffic areas and on private land, not on highways. We offer a free pair of tickets for anyone who's got property that we might find a home for those.
Well, Jeff has always arranged our fireworks signage. I don't know who owns the land where he puts them all up.
But that is public, isn't it?
We propose.
Yes, but I was just thinking, but I don't know who owns the land.
And I try to avoid as much as I can hitting Jeff with the sledgehammer. I've only done it once. But those locations are pretty random.
The Seven Stars Crossroads, or whatever you call it, towards Twyford, is quite a good spot.
Yeah, we put one
And it's
there.
out of the way.
We just put it up. Another one goes by the S Bend. We put one actually alongside the road by Clay Nance, where the Labour is. That's okay.
Teaching.
No, just inside the road near Labour.
MK18 Busy Road, you're talking Hackney. Back into
Wherever. Anyway, that's his final point. Was, and yeah, if you have any questions, of course, with the Calvert Road being shut this year, this junction up here will be busier. And the footpath that goes round the back of the church over the new bridge, all the way down there, it is open. The town's going to put signage down that footpath, directly down that footpath.
Lights down there, isn't it?
No, just like flags and things so that people can see in the dark.
Okay.
So, and Steve, are you happy to take responsibility for replying to this with which councillors are going to get free tickets and stuff?
What we need, I'm not around.
We need to go to the Sheriff's family. That's the important bit.
Do we put them in touch with the community
Helping Hands?
thing?
No,
Helping Hands is
no,
you.
no. If you put them in touch with Helping Hands, everything will go to Buckingham, or to Aylesbury, or to Highwick.
Why don't we take the people that we've been in touch with?
Why don't we put a note in the food?
Well, we can't do nothing yet until we see what they're going to give us.
20.
20 tickets.
Okay.
But again, he's not saying that he's given them to us.
No.
What he's asking is for us to put them in touch with someone.
Well, he gave me them tickets last year,
Yes.
and I gave them out to people. I put a post out on Facebook, and I gave them to people who were in need. And then I had some left over, and I gave them to the volunteers in the cafe, which I thought they deserved a ticket. So, you know, I've had the conversation with Joe last Saturday on the radio, and also radio station, and basically said he's promised me some tickets, so maybe he's going to give me 20 tickets, I don't know.
Maybe there are tickets, maybe we can get on with them.
Do you want me to reply to this at all, or are you happy dealing with Joe, and is Steve happy to deal with Joe? Otherwise, I'm quite happy. I don't want to not reply to him.
Can we maybe ask the school teacher, because she might know very well the children who are most in need.
I'll go and see his headmistress.
I'll talk to Jack, all right? Do that.
Okay. Right, moving on swiftly, HS2 East Rail, I've got no more updates, other than I've got a CAN meeting on Thursday of this week between 5 and 7 o'clock. Planning application 23/00817/Alpha Papa 3 Shinfield Close, Steeples Lane, Buckinghamshire. Householder application for single-storey rear extension. Date, comments requested by the 29th of May, extension granted until the 9th of the 6th. Well, we addressed this in public participation, because there's no change to the actual application other than a site plan and an error that Buckinghamshire Council Planning Department made, then I'm proposing that we put in that we support this application again.
Yeah, second. Yeah.
Okay?
Thank you.
That's all. Okay?
Thank you.
Right, so that's the planning one done. Killia, non-stakeholder hedgerow, again, I've got no updates on that or the new playground, other than what we said earlier on today. You anything other? Anything, Steve? No?
No.
Review date for neighbourhood plan.
Right. It came to some people's attention that there is an organisation called the Strategic Land Group who are promoting, advertising, however you want to put it, a new development the other side of North End Road, opposite Nightingale Hole.
Yeah.
Calling it near Steeple Lane, but it
Strategic Land Group are an organisation who do that. That's what they do. They promote potential developments in the future.
It's like a black.
So approximately 50% of the things that they promote actually come true. So in various conversations I had, I kept mentioning the neighbourhood plan, and in particular the boundaries and the places in the neighbourhood plan that suggest what is and isn't appropriate for development. And that plot, according to the neighbourhood plan, is not appropriate for development. However, the neighbourhood plan is supposed to be a live document. It needs reviewing from time to time.
Every 5 years at least.
Right. Now, also, the neighbourhood plans have not yet been adopted by Bucks Unitary Council. And I submitted a question to Councillor Tech via social media, asking him when Bucks Council will adopt the neighbourhood plans. He didn't answer. So in the absence of Bucks Council adopting the neighbourhood plans, the adoption by Ellesmere Vale District Council stands. So at the moment, the neighbourhood plan stands.
Yes.
But from time to time, Bucks Council take what they call a survey and ask people to submit suggestions for future development sites. One of which is the site across North End Road. The other huge one is at the back of our houses, all the way across to East West Rail. I want us to write to Bucks Council to say, give me a date when you're going to adopt the neighbourhood plan. Because if they're not going to adopt it, there's little point in it being a live document.
Do you want me to ask that full council?
If you want.
I'll do it. Okay?
Because the answer to that question will determine what we then do with our neighbourhood plan. And the answer to that question really should be published in the parish so people know whether or not things like that field out there or the fields out there might potentially go ahead at some point in the future, and that of course might have a knock-on political effect on the way that people vote in the future.
Did you see the email I sent yesterday?
Yes, sir.
Because this is a wider issue. That field is just one that is running faster than all the other landowners because they've got this strategic land agency ventures behind them. But what? So whether we do anything with the neighbourhood, well, I agree completely that we need clarification on the status of the neighbourhood plan, because if it is not even adopted, then there's also no point.
No, that's not technically true. As Steve rightly said, the neighbourhood plan was adopted by Aylesbury Vale District Council.
Yeah.
Until Buckinghamshire Unitary Council adopts it, it still stays, it stands.
Or not. as
Yes.
the case may be.
Yeah.
I assume it will still stand, because they cannot just,
But we need to know that.
yes.
And if yes, if they say yes, we're going to adopt it, and this is the day we're going to adopt it, that's fine. We can then set a
So-
date to review it.
Okay.
So
Well,
do
if
we
you don't
need-
get a response, I will stand up at full council meeting and ask the question.
You didn't give us response.
Okay.
So do we, you Frank, you said we need to review it every
5
5
years.
years. So if it is adopted, or Bucks County Council is going to adopt it, are we going to review it?
Yes.
And with what, I don't know whether you've seen my email yesterday evening, where I'm arguing whether, why we would be doing that, and what would we expect to achieve with reviewing the neighbourhood plan, because it takes even a review or a refresh or whatever you want to call it, we'll still have to go through a long formal process. It's not the suggestion that a refresh will be quicker than developing a complete neighbourhood plan is actually not true, because you still have to go through the same process, which takes at least a year or a year and a half, even a refresh. What do we think we can achieve with that? What can we change in the neighbourhood plan that would protect us against these new sites that have been published?
Not a lot, but it does give you the opportunity to object to anything based on the fact that it's not in the neighbourhood plan.
Well, can we do it now? So we
I
don't
know you
have
can
to
do that
review
now, but we couldn't do that if Bucks Council say no, we're not going to adopt it.
Yeah, that's a separate issue.
That's my point.
If
The
they don't
first
adopt
step
it, then
is Bucks
Let me
Council.
ask the question and then let's take it from there. I will have an answer before the next parish council meeting. Okay, moving on to neighbourhood watch. We've got Noel and the guest here. Road,
Not spoken to.
okay. So road safety strategy. You've got your meeting.
Hosting road safety meeting this Thursday, the 8th of June.
Okay.
After
just
8 p.m.
after
at
8
Bridge
p.m.
Hill.
I don't know whether any of you can attend, because I received already quite a few apologies of different people who are interested in it. I sent it
Have
to
you
you, Steve,
invited,
and to Frank. I also sent it to you. John has already apologised. I don't know whether Steve and Frank, are you going to attend?
As I said, I'm in a meeting all day, and then I'm in a meeting from 5 o'clock until 7 o'clock. Yeah, I'll come to that. It just means I need to have
Have you invited the parishioners normally attends?
Sorry?
Have you invited?
Yes, I've invited Lorna Beaton, Lorna Paul Firth, so it's 10 people. But I've received already quite a few apologies for that. So I don't think it will be a big group, maybe 8 or 10. I don't know, but would there be any chance Lady Phillips living at Buckingham Road? I sent her an email, but it seems to bounce off. So does anybody know by any chance
No.
Lady Phillips at Bucks Road, 37?
Go and knock on her door and ask her for her email address.
Sorry?
Go and knock on her door and ask her for her email address.
Yes.
Or invite her. Okay, moving on to youth council. Well,
Councillor Mitchell
you've
talked
covered
about
it.
that earlier.
Yeah.
Right. I've been in conversation with quite a number of users of the skate park. Ute. Because I'm not in the rec team, I have offered to them that I would be a conduit between some ideas that they have and the parish council, and I would help them submit a plan to the parish council. They would like to develop landscape around the outside of the skate park, following the contours of the skate park, because they can turn those into extra BMX type jumps. Right.
On the side behind the pitch, not the side of the park.
Whatever idea they come up with, I will help them put it into
We've still
a
got some.
format that we understand. There might be a little bit of money left over, but
We have
I can
got a
also lay my hands on some topsoil that might appear in the corner of the car park. So don't worry, a big pile of mud that is in the corner of the car park. And some
We're
of
in
the
charge of all the
people,
piles of mud in the back.
some of the people that I'm talking to are our target audience, for want of a better description, and may not be people who you might expect to be engaged with this sort of thing. And I would really want to encourage two of them in particular.
Well, I did suggest, so I did when the bike park appeared in Vicarage Orchard, I did say they could find somewhere, else that we can help them do that. It's just Vicarage Orchard wasn't the spot. That'd be great.
As long as
As long as it's
planned properly.
feasible, as
And
long
I
as
said to
health
them,
and safety allows.
if it gets approved, one of their descriptions, I would want it done properly, landscaped
Yes.
properly.
Yes.
Not something that they just go and pile mud on. But also, they asked if they could be involved in actual construction.
So there is some S106 funds left available. It would just be a case of reiterating that we can't spend any of that until we've had that authorised by Joe Houston, and then we can jump through all the various hoops.
Okay. Right. Parish Charter Survey. There's a link on
Yes.
the minutes. And further agenda items, councillors are invited to propose items for consideration for May agenda.
4th of July, so.
Yeah, for the date of next meeting is the 4th of July at the Village Hall.
What's that about, Charter Survey?
It's just a survey,
Oh,
parish charter. So we've adopted, as a Buckinghamshire Council, we've adopted a parish and town council charter. You need to read the charter and then you can make comments on it, on that basis. Okay, it's how we work with parish councils and town councils moving forward.
okay.
At 9:12, I will close the meeting. Thank you, everybody. Have a great evening.